Hello and welcome back to another episode of One Kick from Glory. It's just me and Matthew here today.
What's up?
Craig's a little bit unwell. Get better soon, Craig. I'll be slacking next time. You needed back here for next week.
Yeah, mate.
Today, we wanted to start off by addressing some news which is really unsettling, very troubling. Centers around an internet fan personality who goes by the name of DT, real name Liam Goodenough, but he wasn't really good enough. He did something absolutely disgraceful and disgusting, and we're going to kind of share our thoughts and views on the whole situation. I guess, like, just to give some context, he was charged with assault and kidnapping, and stalking offences. That charge was extended from 12 months to 3 years. So he was given a suspended sentence and he went on to violate parole. He tried to kidnap his ex-partner, tried to lie to her, to claim that one of their children was in the car, and he tried to basically drive her off somewhere. And luckily there was a passerby that managed to intervene. There's a lot about this whole situation that we want to get into, not necessarily the details of the case that I've just outlined, but some of the other side of it and things from his point of view. I guess to start off with, Matthew, when you heard the news, what did you think? Because when I heard the name Liam Goodenough, I thought that can't be DT. His name Daniel Turner. That's what we all thought, you know?
I didn't believe it. I was like, not in the case of like, well, no, I just didn't believe it. I literally didn't believe it. Like, I was just so kind of, someone you watch on YouTube, like, quite a bit when we talk about their football and things like that, because he's been around for a while doing all these AFTV videos and even things on his own channel. And just like, really? Like, that? I mean, it's an awful crime. Yeah. Crimes to commit, is it basically? And it's the kind of thing you see on telly, like a soap opera kind of thing, like EastEnders or something. So that's what kind of makes it even more like troubling to kind of take in. I was speechless at the time, and I still kind of am now. And all I can say is that, I hope those involved are all right and they're recovering, and they're trying to look forward and kind of move on from this thing that's circling around them, because you all know living in a digital age where nothing is sacred. Nothing is sacred nowadays. So this is not, while this ain't over. More will come from this, and all we can do is just wait and see what we hear and what's going on. But it's unbelievable. You just never think of these things. Like, obviously, unfortunately, these crimes do happen. What you don't expect it is to see when it's someone that, I'm not saying someone you idolize, because you don't necessarily idolize someone like him, but someone that you watch, someone that you can become familiar with, someone that you can actually meet at a match. Because that's essentially what it is. You're meeting him at the games. So, if you're an Arsenal fan or a football fan, there's a very good chance you've come across this guy. Did any of those things did you get that feeling when you met him? I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah,
I think that's the thing. I've seen a lot of like comments online from Arsenal fans that have said, you know what, they're not surprised that they kind of saw that element to his character from him from afar. And if that's the case, it's a shame that he was allowed to have this platform for so long, because first and foremost, what he's done is so bad.
It's reprehensible.
And also, you got to think about the trauma for his ex-partner, like to know that even though he's gotten 3 years and probably have, restraining orders and stuff put in place going forward, you still have that. For her, I'm hoping that this event isn't like a lasting trauma, but just the reality of knowing that if it wasn't for that passerby, who knows what he would have done?
Yeah.
Who knows where he would have taken her? Who knows, like, what possesses you to act that way? It's just disgusting and disgraceful. But one of the main reasons why I wanted to discuss it is, first of all, DT, you're a bum and you're in the right place. I hope you get, to be honest with you, I do hope you get rehabilitated, because I think there are some people that are borderline a lost cause, and you might be, but I hope that throughout this time of you being locked away, you being away from the internet, you having none of the privileges you previously had, your heart changes, because at the end of the day, what you've done it's so bad.
You can't put words on it, really.
You know, there are other crimes which are unforgivable. This one isn't quite. This is really bad, and this is you need to get rushed kind of territory, and you might get rushed in prison. I'm not saying you're going to get anything worse than that, but you might do, and if it happens, then that's between you, the prison officer, and God. But the other thing I would say is that like one thing that really this whole situation that's very annoying. There's two things that are very very concerning. The first one is that he appeared on Arsenal Fan TV covering the Man City game the day before he got sentenced. A lot of people have now turned around to look at Robbie and the team there to say, did you guys not know what was going on? And of course, there's been some people that have re-clipped older videos of him and him and DT laughing about when DT was in prison when he was younger, and they're using that as context to kind of fuel an agenda. Because there are people out there who hate Arsenal Fan TV, or AFTV as they're now called. They hate it. They have their reasons. Some people think it doesn't represent the fan group. Some of the criticism around it, it does feel racially motivated because it's almost like, if like TalkSport are not too dissimilar to what AFTV do, but yet you don't have the same level of vitriol towards them. But for you, this whole situation, do you feel like AFTV, and I know they've issued an apology, issued a statement or whatever, they said they're going to donate all of the money from any of the content he's been on, or the last content he was on, they're going to donate it, they haven't specified to where, but they're going to donate it to charities, whatever. Do you feel like they need to kind of do more or be held a bit more accountable for what's happened?
I reckon that while they might not have known that he would do something like this, they do know when they were aware of his past, where he's come from, what he's been through. Because if you actually listen sometime when he was talking, I'm not excusing for the fact that he did this, but his upbringing was quite, it was rocky. It was really like kind of rocky. Remember, this is someone now who has, I think he has 3 kids. I think he has 3 boys, so we've also got to think about them as well. Yeah. It's almost as if if you're watching him sometimes, watching him on the internet from where he was at the beginning to kind of, because back then, AFTV, they had no idea where this was going. This might not have worked, but it blew up for what it was because of the people you had on there, and even though they shared everything about Arsenal, all of them were different kind of characters.
That's true.
All of them were very, very different. And I just think over time, when as a football fan, you watch these video responses from the fans, whether they win or lose or not, all different kinds of teams. But sometimes when you look, you can kind of see that there was especially with him, there was an intenseness about him.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
He was like, you get ones that are very kind of like measured, who are, they don't shout or scream or anything like that. They're very, very measured. He was one of the way more intense ones. So sometimes when you're watching this, like, especially his altercations with other fans. Yeah. Sometimes, and you see it in the video, that explosive side that sometimes just comes out, like the red mist descends, and it's like, that is it. This is the way it's going. I do genuinely think that they knew that he was a loose, kind of way, a bit of a loose cannon. Whether they thought he was going to do something like this, I don't think so, but they've also kind of like, got to look at themselves and be like, he might need a break, because he took time off before for health reasons. He's in hospital for a little bit. He was. I think it should have given. I think they should have be like, mate, you need some time to kind of.
Well, I mean, I think the major problem of this situation is that he came out with a statement saying, "Sorry guys, I'm taking a break from posting due to mental health." Brother, you had a court case and a court date, and the judge told you, "Big man, no more posting on the interwebs." Yeah. And what did you do? "Oh, guys, I'm having mental health problems. Sorry, peace and vibes. I'm gonna take some time out." And it's like, but he could have just said, "Listen, And the funny thing is, I remember there was someone I think there was a game I went to, and he was like waiting to do his video thing. And I think I'm pretty certain someone shouted at him, "Oh, he's got a case. He's caught a case.
Yeah,
and then people laugh, and it's like, "Oh yeah, whatever. He's caught a court case." But there was truth in that, and literally, that's what the reality is. But using this mental health angle, I think it's just disgusting, because at the end of the day, there are people who are genuinely suffering. There are people who have not had much support. There are people who have, unfortunately, because they've not been able to find support, cope, or even communicate what they're going through, have taken their lives. And you, with your I was going to say with your big head, but you with your egghead head, because you are an egghead, you're a fool, with your blonde dyed hair, how can the guy be getting his mugshot in an Arsenal jumper? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
Still plugging.
Who do you think you are? You're representing my club. You ain't a play. Who are you? I'll be like Benjamin Mendy getting charged and wearing a Man City kit.
Still plugging away. Still trying to get that.
No, it's disgusting. Anyway,
what are you do that in prison anyway? It's all gonna go.
Like this whole situation, it's a madness, and I feel like we wanted to just bring it up at the start because I think domestic, one of the things that was really sad about this lockdown that happened over the past few years is that we know a lot of domestic violence went up anyway.
Absolutely.
It was a very hard time for people. I think in general, a lot of people struggled in general with lockdown. But I know for couples, for some of them, it was really, really hard. And domestic violence rates did go up. And there was a statistic about that. And there was even also charities that were just giving people if you're in trouble, just post this little emoji here. Just post little things, just let someone know so we can help you.
You're okay. Yeah.
It was hard for people. And then you have him who has clearly got anger issues. He's got self-control issues. He's a very violent man. And he's tried to then turn around and be like, oh, guys, mental health. It's just disgraceful. You don't
get that pass. You really don't get that pass, mate. I think if he just came out and said, look, I think if he came out and, because I'm talking as if he's probably before he's done this, come out and be like, look, I've got this thing where, if he was just a little bit more honest about that, that people, people get angry. People get angry, and sometimes it's a hard thing to kind of control. They say it's cliche, but it's true. When you come to admit, you do have an issue, it then becomes easier. You know what? Then people could come and they can come in and be like, okay, let's work with this thing. Maybe first step, get off the platform. Clearly, because he was on multiple platforms. He was on AFTV, doing multiple things, videos, podcasts, going to games. Do you imagine that? Can you imagine that? You come from obscurity and all of a sudden you're trending with this whole Wenger out thing and the banners and the world is seeing this and you're almost at the epicenter of it. It's from this, this club in North London in England. It probably just got to him. And unfortunately, rather than going down the route of keep taking that time to step back and realize what it's doing to you, it's like you said in lockdown, the pressure of lockdown, it's come out the wrong way.
And the reality with fame is this: eventually, your character will catch up with you. So if you have a bad character, no matter how good a job you do of hiding it, eventually it will show.
It will find.
And one of the most important things a person can do, if you want to be an influencer, if the spotlight is something you crave, if you have a platform, if you're sharing something, it's very important to work on yourself and be accountable to people you can really trust and also be accountable to yourself. Because first and foremost, you got to live with yourself and then you scale out from there. But I think it's really important to have those people in your life who can just pull you to one side and say, listen, mate, you're moving mad right now. You need to calm down,
slow down,
sort yourself out. And people that you can just be honest and vulnerable with. Because like I said, with the pursuit of fame, and I don't say pursuit, but with having a platform and responsibility, people will look up to you. Things will come out. And if you are not prepared for the fallout when after the high and the terrible lows, you need to just kind of take a step back and work on yourself. You can work on yourself as you build your platform, but just be honest with yourself. At least you should know where you're at, even if the wider world doesn't see all the bad stuff.
They don't need to see. I mean, we can't forget, it's not related to football, but it is related to influencers. We already have two influencers this year who are now learning the other side of that. They were they're now learning the comeuppance of fame and having that platform. Regardless of how you might feel, you do have a responsibility.
Absolutely.
You do have a responsibility. Whether you like it or not, or whether you think you don't, you do. You really do. And
that's right.
Yeah. It's been 3 weeks into January, possibly, and we already have 3 influencers are learning it the hard way. And it's...
Who's your 3?
Oh, DT's one.
I don't count him.
You don't count him?
He's he ain't as bad as, the guy who got stripped of his royal titles.
Oh, yeah, there's... he's not an influencer, but
he ain't as bad as that man. I ain't gonna say his name because I don't want to get like shut down. But you will know what I'm talking about. You know, the favorite son, yeah. Him. Waste man.
The other two, you must have known. Molly May.
Ah, bless her. But she's young though.
She's young and
naive.
I can kind of get where she's what she's trying to say, but at the same time, it's like if you compare, I was like, all right, I can compare you to Marcus Rashford, I'll compare you to Lewis Hamilton, who've been through stuff to get to where they are, and they use their platform better.
But also her viewpoint is very misguided. Yes, technically we all have the same 24 hours, but we don't all have the same use of the same 24 hours because my life is different to someone who's got kids. My life's different to someone who runs a company. My life is different. How everyone can apportion that 24 hours is different. It's not the same. Yes, we have the same physical time, but we don't have the same access of the hours. I
mean, if you want to come work in school with me, I like to see, if you come one day in school, I may think different. The other person who's got like almost zero credibility right now, I didn't know who she was, but her name's what El Darby?
What did she do?
What didn't she do?
I don't
Just.
Is she Jam Jar Girl?
I don't know what. Probably I don't know, but she's. You take a look for yourself. Honestly, it's. It's bad. It's bad.
Anyway, moving swiftly on. So AFTV. Now, with this whole situation. A lot of people hate. Have I mentioned that people hate AFTV? People hate AFTV.
Yeah.
Might be tinged with some.
But don't know why.
Like, I think I already said this. I swear I already said this.
You said something. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why people hate them.
But like, I just wonder with this whole situation now because they've had this controversy when Mo got left. Well, and let's start off before then. They had a controversy of existing. Yeah. They had to change the name because Arsenal, the cease and desist, you can't have Arsenal name, so they have just AFTV. Then, of course, Claude got taken off channel because of some racist comments made about Son Heung-min. They were... They were obviously they were unintentionally racist, but racism is racism. Like, I'm not going to try and give anyone a pass. It was racist and bad stereotypes, so he got taken off. Mm-hmm. Then Mo tried to, I think he was wearing like a Free Palestine badge and all of a sudden he disappeared off the channel. I don't know what's going on there. That whole situation is a bit of a strange one. I find that whole topic of conversation sometimes to be just a lot. And then now we have this situation. It does feel a lot like, as AFTV have grown from just being a fan channel to this obviously this massive brand, and they've got all these other corporate interests and stuff. There comes a point now where there needs to be some accountability. Because when Claude passed, it was really hard. Because it did feel like he was abandoned. It did feel like AFTV built this man up, got on a platform, and then just cut him out to dry. Obviously, Robbie then said that he was in contact with him and his sister and whatever, and the family. And so they had a very private relationship that wasn't shared publicly, even though they had a public relationship in terms of how we knew them. And so I wonder now if going forward, AFTV needs to be more visibly accountable in how they handle and do stuff.
Definitely, especially now, from like you said, from where they've grown from obscurity to like, you know, when you're being parodied by other shows, you know you made it. You know you made it into the big time.
That's true.
They do have to be. I think if you watch some of the videos now, it's almost like they're a lot more like cautious. There's more of a there was an edge about it that was first came out. But if we watch the videos now, it's with the characters that they've lost, like, you know, like DT, Troops, and, you know, a few others. It's almost become a bit more. The phrase family friendly doesn't really make sense, but it's leading towards what I'm kind of talking about. It's a bit like what happened with WWE or beforehand WWF. They went with the Attitude Era, ruthless aggression, and then when they got more corporate, they had to try and be like, let's rough out those edges. Let's smooth those edges. No, because at the end of the day, kids watch these guys. And believe me, if someone works in a school, kids watch these guys. I'm talking as young as 11, maybe even, you know, younger. So it might be their aspiration to meet some of these guys. So when you see your, you know, that's why nowadays you have a much, like, way more, you know, family orientated people up there, people who have kids. You've got the 3 women on there who all have kids. Robbie herself has kids. You know, they kind of, if they want their thing to grow, certain things ain't gonna cut. Like, they can't. Swearing, certain things they say, they got like, you know, can't be too overly I don't know, overly politicized maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's a much, it's tamer, but at the same time, it can genuinely appeal to, get out to like more people. So I get the change. Even, but watching it, there was kind of it's almost as if some of the raw passion has gone. And it's kind of I'll get back to something else. Like, it's almost like a reflection of how football is going, where you're losing maybe the more troublesome but devoted fans for those who are going to give it PG friendly, who, won't know necessarily who played for the club 30 years ago, but it looked good in the show. So, but that's just, as business grow bigger, that's how it's going to be, isn't it?
That's true. I mean, it is a business, and I think, you want to cater to and reach more people. So there will always be changes in how you do stuff. I think the important thing is getting the balance between, reaching a newer demographic, but also keeping the traditional fans that have always been there, the core fans, part of the experience. But that's the thing with football. It's a very entertaining game. It gives us plenty of highs. We love it. We love it. We love to laugh at some teams. And obviously with football, you have your nicknames, you have your chants. Obviously, Liam was never good enough, but he became DT. Done out here, as I call him now.
Done out, yeah.
And moving from one useless twat to a team that we just bottle FC. The battle of the bottles. Leicester versus Tottenham.
My God.
I cannot believe what I witnessed.
How do you out-bottle Tottenham?
How do you out-bottle Tottenham? That's the episode title right there. Roll credits. Mad. How?
It just seems so set in stone. It just seemed 2 goals in what 95th, 97th minute? How's that even?
It's like literally, it's the equivalent of. Yeah, it's like you go to the, you know what it is? You go to KFC.
Yeah.
You order yourself a mighty bucket, fresh chips, everything freshly made.
Yes.
Boom. You're walking down the street. Just as you get in through the front door, Mum's made a roast.
Really?
Fresh roast.
Now
Cool.
I'll eat both of them.
Yeah, you got to eat both of them, right? So you get the roast in one plate, you got your KFC, you put it on a separate plate, you walk into your room, you only have 2 hands, try and push the door open, you drop your plates.
Oh.
You drop the roast, but half the KFC is safe, so you got the KFC instead.
You're killing me, man. You are killing me.
That's what it felt like watching.
A roast does not belong on the floor.
It doesn't. But, we've talked about Brendan Rodgers before. I've said that I feel like his propensity to bottle situations takes him away from being a manager in that top conversation. And for me, is what will keep him out of those top jobs. It's why I didn't want him at Arsenal. It's why when he was at Liverpool, his failures were just annoying. And I don't see him getting that next job until he can figure that out. For you as a fan, right? If that was Chelsea and you were 2-1 up with 10 minutes to go, you just shut up shop, right?
Definitely.
You don't expect you guys to concede.
No.
Do you even push for a third goal?
No. Play it safe. Play it simple.
Well, what did you think about the stupidness that we saw on the pitch? Because to me, I just couldn't believe it.
I genuinely thought that the game was. I actually turned off at round just before the first goal, the first equaliser. I actually turned off thinking, well, it's done and dusted. Thanks Leicester. You're keeping them at bay because they're worryingly close behind us, and as far as the table goes, plus they got games in hand. So they could even be level. They might even overtake us. So yeah, thanks. But literally, it was like, how did it happen so quickly? I had to turn the TV back on. I was just like, I was like, is this even the same game? What is even happening? How do you I just think that's been the mark of Leicester this season, where they did really well last year. They were perilously close to the Champions League. But this year's just shown they definitely weren't ready for it. I mean, they're knocked out the Europa, so they're in the Europa Conference League, which might be better for them. And they're floundering around that kind of mid-tablist section that, let's be really honest, probably shouldn't be there. They've got some results where it's just been not ideal. And this was one of them where you were already leading. So how can you just lose it so quickly? They're not in the threat of relegation, but they're not going to get into the same place where it's 5th last year. I reckon where 7th or 8th. 7th or 8th is where it's going to be where they're at. But it's just, again, why I think this is Brendan's level. I think he's the only other place he could go is a club of a similar stature.
Yeah.
But while they're in the, glory position of the, FA Cup, they're progressing the FA Cup and in the holders.
And they did a brilliant job winning it last year. I think we can't take that away from him. But there just seems to be this little thing of can he take a team over the line? And so far, I've just not seen it. He did well with Celtic.
He did well with Celtic. He did well with Swansea.
Did well with Swansea too. But that Liverpool job to me is still the one.
Was remembered for.
Because it was so close. You would have been the one to win Liverpool's first Premier League title.
They should have.
You would have, could have, should have. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Said so many people that we may or may not know about the past. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but didn't. Oh well.
SAS. You had the great SAS.
You had everything.
It was SAS, wasn't it? Yeah, it was SAS.
No,
Suarez, Sturridge.
It's triple S.
Suarez, Sturridge, Sterling.
Yeah, triple S. They were on fire.
They were unbelievable.
But, they let Tottenham come back and get a win. I think you got to say this. Your old coach is working wonders with those bunch of absolute losers over at Tottenham. Like, weak mentality FC, no hope FC, shut down the club FC.
Bridesmaid FC.
No ankles, Kane FC. Look at Steven Bergwijn. This week there were rumours that they wanted to get rid of him. He's going to be on his way out. And what does my man do? My man comes and delivers. Nice. Bang, bang. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Even the celebration, you can see the emotion. You lot were booing me up. You lot didn't want me here no more.
This is what you're going to do.
Look what I delivered.
Look what I can do.
Unlike Ndombele, that brother can't run. But at least Bergwijn can, do a job. But
True.
Man.
It's looking...
I mean, look, at the end of the day, the battle, the race for the top 4 is very exciting. The title race is almost done already, which is disgusting. And
annoying.
Someone needs to stop Man City because they are frustrating the life. They're just frustrating.
It's gone from respect to frustration now.
Yeah.
Now we're bored of it.
And then the bottom half of the equation, it's getting interesting because Newcastle are splashing the cash like nobody's business. They're trying to bring in players here, there and everywhere. I'm seeing Coutinho coming back in the league and getting a goal on his debut. That was quite nice. Awesome. Nice to see him back. Awesome. I didn't expect much from him, but well done.
Awesome.
And then this weekend we have the Merseyside derby.
Damn, we do.
Technically, but it's not really. In Everton versus Aston Villa because it's Duncan Ferguson versus Steven Gerrard.
Oh, that's going to be
mad. That is going to be fiery. And I need to see where that game's being played because if it's being played at Everton,
I think it's been played at Everton.
Or it is 12:30 Saturday. Gerrard is going to be in for a nice welcome because he got booed at Old Trafford when he went there the other day, and he seemed to love it.
Yeah, fine with it.
He's walking around like, you may remember me, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, I rile you up that much.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
All right, cool. I must be doing something.
I'm here. And they got a nice little 2-2 draw against them. Man United are, whatever. They won the other day, but at this point, who cares really? They just aren't. They're just not serious.
They've got their own problems.
I don't take them seriously. I don't consider. For me, Tottenham are always going to be a team in transition because they don't do what needs to be done at the right times. They spend money sparingly, but they don't invest in the right areas at the right time. Now they've got they've got a world-class coach, and they've got pieces that are at the top end of this footballing scale in Kane and Son and Lloris because he has won a World Cup, even though I don't rate Lloris. And you've got players around them that are in the middle, decent, somewhat, not great, not bad, but serviceable. So they could make a nice run from now to the end of the season. They could really kind of push on. And I mean, right now they're in 5th. They got 2 games in hand, 3 games in hand actually. So they got 4 games in hand.
That is crazy.
They have 4 games in hand, so that is really it's a lot of points there, and they could cement themselves in the top 4 if that all goes well.
Yeah.
But Liverpool have a game in hand, 2 games in hand. Well, 2 games in hand. So they could, if they get to 6 points, that could get them nicer, closer to Man City. Man City needs to start losing.
Please,
they've only lost 2 games this season. They've only drawn 2 games. They're doing what they do.
Southampton, please. James Ward-Prowse score 3 free kicks.
The Saints could do it because they're that team.
They are
that team that can just pull off a crazy result when you least expect it.
95th minute free kick. James Ward-Prowse. I'll take that.
Top bins. James, I know you're not watching this, but whoever's your team, if you see this, James Ward-Prowse, top bins, please.
Watching on you, please, mate. You can do it.
But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, we've got like 11 more days left in the transfer window, so we're expecting some business to go between now and then. I know Arsenal have looked at Vlahovic from Fiorentina. There's a lot of talk about bids this, bids that, agent this, agent fees. I don't care about all that nonsense.
You just want to see the shirt.
If he comes, he comes. Doesn't he? Doesn't. The club will be fine. We'll move on. But I think it's going to be very interesting what our clubs do closing out the season. Obviously, with Lukaku, he just hasn't really quite. He just seems a bit out. It hasn't kicked in. It looks like that whole interview he did, very ill-advised.
The 9 curses struck again,
and it's just a bit concerning to see what comes from it. But it should be interesting to see what happens. The final thing I do want to talk about is all this media furor around my club and us having a game called off because of injuries and COVID. When one club who also wear red, who happened to be one of the Premier League champions of recent years, did the same thing. Some news came out today, as of recording, that they did some dodgy stuff with their PCR tests. They had negative LFTs, and just to be sure, they went and ordered some PCRs, which is what got the game. And actually, the funny thing is, they actually called off the match before they got the results back, which is the first kind of grey flag.
Red, yeah, that's right.
I call it grey, not red, grey flag. Yeah. And the second one is apparently the lab where they got the samples processed. Kenny Dalglish's daughter works there. So, it's a bit convenient.
That is some James
Bond. It's a little bit convenient. So I feel like at Liverpool right now, yeah, you lot are moving mad. I'm going to call you out. You're moving mad. I don't care what you've won recently. I'm going to call a spade a spade. You guys cheated the system to get that game called off. You did. You had the players to play. You didn't want to play. That's cool. That's fine. I know for Arsenal, we've also, in this time period, we've loaned out 3 players and we called off some games because of injuries and COVID. But you know what? A precedent was set. The rules are very clear and we played by the rules. Is it our fault that you don't like the rules? No. Is it our fault that you got affected by it? No. But guess what? We do what was in our best interest, just like they did, because we were ready for that game. We were up for it, and they couldn't handle it. These men were bottling. How could they be bottling a game against Arsenal? How can you bottle it? How? Our cameraman's a Liverpool fan. He's giving me funny looks. But I'm going to tell you a bunch of, I'm not going to call Liverpool bottle jobs here, but you guys were running scared. You were running. You knew it was coming. You didn't want to get slapped up by Saka, but it's come. As of recording right now, you guys are winning, but that's neither here nor there. Because I'm just being honest. It's neither here nor there. You guys are running scared, but it's cool. It's cool.
You okay now?
It is what it is. But that's the thing. So I think what do you think about all this? Liverpool, man.
Okay.
Big club Liverpool.
All right.
Disgraceful.
Let me tell you. I want to go back on something that I had a discussion with my brother as well, and it's going to jump off this for a moment, but you'll see why I'm going to get back to it.
Go for it.
2021 Champions League final was between Man City and Chelsea, right? Now, the general consensus is this. The only people who really cared about that final were Man City and Chelsea fans, right? Because we're new blood, we're new money, it's easy to hate us when it is to like us. You could talk about the history. I mean, every club has history. It might not be glittering, but it's there. Chelsea have a history. You just need to go in there and fight. It's not glittering, but it's there. Now, granted, what if this was a Champions League final? Same thing, both English teams. What if it was Liverpool and Manchester United? What would the attention would be groundbreaking. The 2 great English clubs, right? Because a lot of people consider, despite where Arsenal are in the the rankings, people always consider Liverpool and Manchester United as the holy grails of we can do no wrong. Rules for thee, not for me, sort of thing. Now, this might sound crazy. I probably am crazy, and I probably am very, very wrong. But it just comes from a thing of favoritism when it comes to certain clubs. Liverpool will get that pass because they are Liverpool. They have the pass. They have the love. They have the ideal and traditional way of how football is meant to be. Local lads, local team brought up for the likes of Liverpool, Anfield, that passion there, the feeling playing there, the songs you hear, you never walk alone, all those sort of things, the Reds, the Cop, that kind of history that they have. There's always been an admiration for Liverpool, because just kind of the waiting that he has. So when even though Arsenal do have a history, they're more of a. It's different with Arsenal. It's a different kind of thing. There's more of a brutish side to Arsenal, because that's what the history that you had, from what I've known. You know, from the defenses that you had and the way that you played. It wasn't so much about big bucks, but just pure grit. And I just still think it carries on today, where Liverpool just kind of have that little bit of favouritism over other clubs. So when you do it, it's an issue. But when Liverpool do it, it's fine. By mind, then again, it sounds mad. It could also do with, I don't know, is the fan base of Liverpool seem more respectable than that to Arsenal? Is the fan base, and your legends as well, you know, your Dalglishes, your Rushes, your Fowlers, there's something about it, they love a Liverpool legend. They absolutely love a Liverpool legend. Not saying they don't like Arsenal legends, but they love a Liverpool legend. Absolutely love. So I just think it could be a case of favouritism, bias. Pure and utter bias.
It definitely is. Media loves Liverpool. Don't know why.
They love Liverpool and the Man United. They just do, because come on, look how many times, you know, you hear about the managerial thing for Everton and for Rooney, and just how many chances Rooney was given because he played for Man United. If he played for West Ham,
true,
it's different. It changes.
That's
so
a good point.
There's a bias there. There is. I mean, you know, if people want me as a Chelsea fan to admit that, you know, that our money bucks, you know, got us these trophies, fine. If you admit you have a bias, just admit it.
And you know, for me, the one thing about the media storm that I don't mind, it proves that Arsenal are back. Because if everyone's making a fuss about, like, they didn't care about us for a long time. Arsenal are just above everyone's jokes. But if you're making a fuss about because Arsenal did something,
we must be
doing something really good.
Something concerned you. We're like, I need a little bit of a cheat trick.
And I don't mind that. Be concerned about us, but let us do our job on the pitch first. Get back in top 4, because we need Champions League to pay for some stuff. After that, then we can talk. But before that, just leave us alone. Please, leave my club alone. Just leave us. Right. I think that's all we want to cover today. I mean, yeah, I think all that DT talk's just annoyed me. I mean, that guy. I'm disappointed, you know, because... No, I'm disappointed. I'm angry, if anything. I'm not disappointed, I'm angry. How could you do that? How? You know, I think genuinely that there's some men out there, you lot need help. Legit, you need help. You might need to get knocked around a few times, just to knock some senses back into you. But you need a lot of help, because you have no self-control, you have serious issues, and you should not be allowed anywhere near any women. At all. You should not be allowed near them. Like, as in, you should be tucked away somewhere so they can be safe. Because some of you lot, you just ain't right. You're wrong-uns.
Absolutely, you took the word out of my mouth. I was just about to say that, wrong-uns. Well, you know, when you don't get that, sometimes you just find that urge, and you might not like it, but the more you try, you know, I'm not saying you have to embrace it, but you do have to, you know, accept that there might be something there, and then it's easy to kind of tackle it when you're a little bit younger. It gets hard, like with most things. When you get older, it gets harder to shift.
Or just go gym. If you're really that frustrated and angry, go gym.
Box.
Go boxing. I don't know. Do something to help relieve your stress. Just don't take it out on any woman. True, or anyone. Because it's not right. It's not fair on them. It's not their fault that you're having a bad day and you're in a mood. Yeah. You know, even if they frustrated and annoyed you, it don't matter. You don't lay your hands on them. Never, ever. You don't lay your hands on them. You don't do that.
Don't mean kidnap them.
You don't do that. That's madness. But anyway.
I wonder what's happening with the people that surround him, like, you know, his family, the people around him at AFT, his team, DTFC.
I don't even know. I mean, they're still going to carry on because.
What's it going to? I mean, because it's got nothing to do with the players. But you know, when you watch him, when the whole Blood Brothers thing came up for AFTV, and you know, there's a difference from when, you know, you saw Robbie giving them a team talk, or one of the guys, and then there was him.
It was like charged up.
There was violence. I'm like, they must fight all the time, and I get that, you know, you're passionate, you want to win, but at the end of the day, it's like it's Sunday League. You know.
Yeah, it is. It's only Sunday League.
It's Sunday League. I don't blame.
It's not even Sunday League. It's just charity football. Calm down.
It's charity. I had that when I went to. Funny enough, we did an Arsenal thing at Arsenal. We played a 7-side charity thing. And I was playing with a team with me, my brother, and a few others from our family. And we played with this one team who were getting way too into it. And we were in the final. And it was just like, we're saying like, we can't have to let these guys win, because if they don't, it's going to be a riot for a charity game. Just relax. I promise you, I know this is your release, but you've got bigger things going on in life. I guarantee you got bigger things going on in your life. It's just not that. At the end of the day, for these people, some of these guys, it's meant to be fun. I know I'm getting away from, the whole thing that happened to the woman that he was to his ex, which is really, which is things we should be talking about. But I'm talking to the bit that's kind of leading up. You always look at the things where could we have caught it? Where could we have got it to be like, right, someone's got to step in and say, mate, you're going down a thing where it's uncomfortable. You're going down a thing where it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And to the point that I don't watch the videos, for the thought that every single time something goes wrong, you're going to say something you're going to regret. And not everyone's going to be reacting. Not everyone's going to take that on the chin. Some people might, come out one way about it, but sometimes someone's just going to knock you down. Because they've had enough. So it's kind of, was there a point in time where we could have caught this earlier to stop it from happening? You live in it's one of those teachable moments, isn't it? But yeah, I hope he takes a long, hard look in the 3 years he has. He recognizes just how bad this actually is.
But I also hope other people that have like anger issues do get help, because I think it's important. Don't take it out on your partner and whatever. Just
it's not their fault.
Just really go get help.
Because when you get help, they'll probably want to help you. They'll definitely want to help you too. Absolutely. So.
And that's the most important thing. Like I said, for DT, obviously he's done out here as a personality in the platform, whatever. Like he's done out here. But I do hope that he can use this time to properly heal. Not the fake social media, I'm healed, I'm so sorry, I've learnt my lesson. Proper, just take the time and just really kind of reflect on your actions and be healed.
Get off the grid. Get off the grid.
Well, he's off the grid now. He's in behind
bars. Stay off.
And just learn from it. And like I said, whatever happens in there. Anyway,
come out a better man.
Just come out a better person, because I think prison by design is supposed to help you rehabilitate. It doesn't always work out that way. But I hope for his sake, he goes in there, he really takes a long, hard look at himself, and just does better going forward. Like, you can't be doing them things, man. You really can't. You can't be doing that, man. You can't be kidnapping somebody like that. Come on, DT, man.
That's crazy.
Come on, Liam. Your name is Goodenough. You should be a better man.
Yeah, mate. Do me next.
All right.
And there.
I think we'll call it a night for there. Thanks for listening to our rather slightly ranty, very special One Kick from Glory. If you liked what you saw, share it online, all that good stuff. Let us know what you think about the situation. And, do you think Liam can be rehabilitated, or do you think he's done out here and we should just, throw him away? Please let us know. Have a good rest of the day, people. And we'll be back for the next one very soon.
Peace out.
Yeah.